It is Sunday, June 25th, 2023, and on this week's edition of Sunday Sofa Time, we're talking about Delta's Premium Select. Welcome back to the very unofficial travel guides, and welcome actually to the house I grew up in here in Minnesota. I am on tour right now at my mom's house, so usually on Sunday I sit down in front of my red sofa at home in Hamburg, Germany to discuss some kind of travel related topic. These are videos that I make in addition to the travel vlogs that I post on the channel, and this week we're in front of this flowery sofa instead of my red sofa at home. If you're new here, I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides. I travel all around the world to popular and not so popular tourist destinations to give you a very honest, unofficial look at what it's like to be there. I also wrote a book called Getting Stitches on a Cruise Ship, filled with crazy stories of true things that have happened to me while traveling the world, including getting stitches on a cruise ship. If you want something short and fun to read on your next adventure and a way to support what I do here on YouTube, check out Getting Stitches on a Cruise Ship. It's available on Amazon now. In this video today, I want to show you all about this experience I had flying in Delta's Premium Select Economy, which is like, it's sort of, I guess I would compare it to being in between Economy Plus and business class. We're gonna look at the seats and the food and all the things connected to it. And I know that one question a lot of people have been asking me when I posted about this on Instagram and Facebook is, well, how much did it cost? And I can tell you right now that that is a difficult question to answer because it's different for every flight. I went looking at the KLM website. One thing I like about the KLM website is that they give you an option of seeing, okay, it could be a little bit cheaper if you fly a little bit earlier or a little bit later, so you can kind of move your journey to fit your budget, basically, if that is an option for you. And you can see by scrolling through here that sometimes it just costs a little bit more and sometimes it costs a whole lot more. And another interesting thing to note is sometimes flying business class is even less expensive than flying premium economy, which makes no sense to me. One of the things I want to talk about or remind you about in this video, and I'll probably talk about it a few times, is just like when you're booking a suite on a cruise ship, it's not just about the seat that you get. And when you book a suite, it's not just about getting a little bit bigger cabin, a little bit bigger room. It's also about the things that are connected to it, the perks and the goodies. So those are things you have to consider when you're considering if this is going to be something worth spending your extra money on. And one thing that made it really tasty to me basically is I'm trying to gain or like up my status level with Flying Blue, which is the KLM Air France Frequent Miles Club. And when booking Premium Select, it gave me 40 XP points, which are the points that you need to climb up the ladder. That's already a big bonus, and as far as I'm concerned, for why it was worth paying the couple extra $100 over just normal economy. So when I got to the airport in Hamburg, I immediately realized one of the major benefits, and that is you get priority access, which means there are extra lines just for people like you. Good morning. I am now here in the Hamburg airport and I just checked in for my first flight. I'm flying from Hamburg to Amsterdam, and then the actual seat that I booked in this extra class is for my flight from Amsterdam to Minneapolis. But I was surprised to find out this morning when I got here and wanted to check in my bag that because I booked it for that stretch, that I also have priority access even here checking in my bags, even though for the first flight I'm just sitting in a normal seat. So there is a shorter line that is dedicated for just people flying in like premium economy, business class, first class. And if things go right, you will get checked in much quicker, get rid of your bags much quicker. And at most airports, there's also a priority access or an extra line at security, but I don't think Hamburg does that for anybody. My flight from Hamburg to Amsterdam, like I said, I was just sitting in a normal economy seat, but I did get to board the plane first. I'm in my normal economy seat now for the first flight. Like I said, it's the second flight that I upgraded, and not only did I just run into Beyonce's backup dances in the airport, but even though I'm in economy on this flight, I had the priority boarding, which means I was one of the first people in the plane. One advantage of that is all the overhead space is still open. So it's not only about getting in the plane sooner, but you definitely get overhead space. But you know what? Honestly, I usually just put my bag down by my feet because it's easier than if I want to get something out of it anyways. But I know for people with longer legs, not the best option. When I got to the Amsterdam airport, I had to go through customs to get to the international terminal. And then when I was boarding the main flight or the long haul flight from Amsterdam to Minneapolis, where I paid for this upgraded seat class, I also was allowed to board earlier. However, first they let people with mobility issues and with little kids. Then they let people in, I think it's called Delta 1, which is the highest of first class, and then business class, and then the priority access with premium select and things like that. I still would have been like one of the first, I don't know, probably 25 people on the plane. However, I somehow chose for a random testing and had to go to the side for this extra security check where they swabbed my hands and my belt buckle and stuff. So that allowed a couple extra people in front of me. One thing I've learned also from reading your comments is that this is a little bit different on each different airline model. And there were only, I think, 21 of these premium select seats. It was an individual little section right behind first class, and I was sitting in the bulkhead, so I was like right by first class. And you could immediately see the difference between these seats and a normal economy seat. They're a little bit wider, they're a little bit cushier, and the colors I think are a little bit different, the materials are different, and one of the things that makes them so special is they have an extra little footrest and they recline a little bit further. This is something that was kind of hard to show you because I was traveling alone, there's strangers sitting all around me, and a lot of times people don't want to be filmed, and I understand that, but let me do my best to try to show you what this little footrest was like and how far the seat reclines. This is definitely more than you get when you fly in a standard economy. And another thing is, in standard economy in the back of the plane, the rows were 2, 4, and then 2. And in this section, it was just 2, 3, and 2. So definitely more space between you and the person next to you, and definitely more space also, although it's kind of hard to tell from these recordings, between you and the person in front of you. So I'm a short person, I'm only 5'5". Legroom is usually not a problem for me. I know in the Facebook comments, a lot of people were saying that they're over 6 foot. Some people are like 6'3", 6'5". So definitely a good thing for you if you are a extra tall person. The buttons in the armrest control the footrest. There's a button that makes the footrest part go out like this. And then there's another button for the thing that you actually put your feet on to make it go down or up. And then there's a button for the recline as well. You have your own remote control, although the screen is touchscreen. And it took me a second to figure out the table, which was hidden in the armrest for the bulkhead seats. There's a little lever that you have to pull up to get it to pop up. And then it kind of comes up and you push it forward, and then you can unfold it and then move it forward and back as well. The back of the seat also has a sort of cushy thing here at the top that you can fold forward and back to kind of make it like your own travel pillow. And speaking of pillow, there was a memory foam pillow and sort of an upgraded blanket as well provided in the seat, as well as, and this might be one of the biggest noticeable differences between normal economy and this premium select, is these headphones were pretty darn nice, and I got to keep them too. In fact, I don't know if I got to keep them, but
I did.
Shh. There's also a cute little goodie bag that included a lip gloss, some socks, eye mask, some earphones, and a little toothpaste and toothbrush kit, which I think is really great because on a long distance flight, when you arrive in the morning or the evening, your mouth is funky. So it's nice to be able to just sort of freshen it up before you get picked up. Another difference over normal economy is the menu for the food came on paper, and on the back of this paper there were also directions on how to use the seat and the online menu. Also, another thing I noticed is we were all greeted by name. So when the flight attendant came to us, they said, "Here, Mr. O'Brien, here's your menu and the directions for the seat, and I'll be back with some sparkling wine or sparkling water." And then shortly after takeoff, they came and offered us sparkling wine or sparkling water. Here's one major difference over even other airlines' economies. All the drinks that you get on some other airlines, even in economy, the drinks are served in glass glasses, and here they were served in plastic glasses, at least these drinks were. This is just being nitpicky, but a plastic glass doesn't feel really fancy to me. I think a normal glass and real silverware seems fancier. But speaking of fancy, shortly before it was time for lunch, they came and they put a little white tablecloth on our table, which, I guess that is a very simple thing you can do to make it seem very fancy. We also got an upgraded towel to clean our hands with. This was like an actual cloth towel and not a wet wipe. It was a real fabric thing, and it smelled good too. I honestly can't tell you if the food that we got in Premium Select was different than the food that was offered in the back of the plane, because I wasn't going to get up and go back there and ask somebody, "Can I look at your food?" But there was a sticker and writing on it that said Premium Select, which makes me think that it is made somehow differently. By the way, when dinner or lunch was served, we did get actual silverware, and I ordered a glass of wine, and that did come in a glass, so that did seem a little bit elevated. The soft drinks and the alcoholic beverages were included in the price of Premium Select, but I think on international flights, it's always included, isn't it? And the online menu showed which ones were available, and then there were also, I guess, a selection you could ask for as well. By the way, because I was sitting in the bulkhead, and the bulkhead is, when you look at a plane, the sections of the plane are divided by these walls, and those walls, I guess, are called bulkheads. And so I was sitting in the seat where there was no seat in front of me, and this has advantages and disadvantages. Of course, it's nice that nobody's seat is reclining into your face. You also have a little bit more leg room, but in Premium Select, everybody has a little bit more leg room. I really prefer to have my bag under the seat in front of me, and in the bulkhead, you can't do that. And I don't know, now that I've sat there, I think 2 or 3 times in bulkhead seats, I appreciate having that extra room and no seat in front of me, but I also like having the television screen in the actual seat in front of me. I like that angle. I feel like it's more comfortable for my eyes to have the screen like at eye level and not sort of down. And when you have these screens that flip out of the armrest, and they're always like lower, and something about that angle of my neck and my eyes makes it harder to watch for so long. Also, the screens in all the seats in Premium Select that were in the back of the seats were much bigger than the ones in economy, but the ones that flipped out of the armrests for us in the bulkhead, they were like economy size screens. They're still really big screens. I don't know if the money that I paid was worth, having an extra 5 centimeters of screen, but just thought I'd mention it. We got a snack shortly before landing as well, but I think that they probably got the same snack in the back too. And then we touched down in Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport right on time, and it was 92 degrees Fahrenheit. And when we landed in MSP, I could have been the first person off the plane because, like I said, I was sitting right there, but they blocked off the back of the plane to let everybody who was in business class and first class leave first. But still, I was probably the first person not in first class off of the plane. That really helps if you have a short connection, or if like I had to, if when you get to wherever you're going, you have to go through customs and immigration. Sometimes that line can be really long, and if you're at the back of the plane, then all 200, 300, however many people that were on your flight are going to be in that line in front of you. So also kind of a bonus. So now coming to the big question, do I think this was worth it, and would I pay for it again? And this is something that we're going to get into right after this commercial break. Did you get one? What was it about? Write it in the comments below. please. All right, was it worth it? Would I pay for this again? Is this a good deal? And I have to be honest with you all, this is a question that I definitely can't answer for you. And also, when you think of the difference in prices, you know, I can't say, well, this upgrade only costs this much, so that makes it worth it, because it seems to be different on every flight. Do I regret doing it? No. But I think the thing that makes it the most attractive for me would be getting the XP points to climb up in my status, and not necessarily the bigger seat or them calling me by name or them putting a white tablecloth on my tray. Like I said, I'm not over 6 feet, so the legroom is not something that I really need. And honestly, yes, the seat does recline more. And yes, there is this leg rest, but I personally didn't feel like it helped me get in a more comfortable position for sleeping than just the plain economy seats. The leg rest is really kind of a joke if you ask me. And for most of the time, I think I actually had it down just because I don't know, having my feet, instead of having my feet here, having them here, I didn't need it. I would love to fly in business class or first class where you're almost completely laying down, or some of them have these beds where you are completely flat. Then I can sleep. But if we're talking about a difference between my back being at this angle or this angle, it's not really gonna help me. The things that I really appreciated about it were the faster lines, being the first person on the plane, so I know if I wanted to put my bag on top, I definitely would be able to put my bag on top, getting the extra points, and of course, the goodie bag and the headphones are pretty cool too. But for $300, $400, $500, which is what the difference in cost is a lot of the times, you could just go to the store and buy yourself some pretty cool headphones too. With a budget of $500, you can buy yourself some cool headphones, some socks, and a pretty cool pillow. So I'm not saying I wouldn't do it again, but it's not something that now that I've done it, I'm thinking, oh, it's gonna be so hard to fly in normal economy again, because that was just so amazing, so amazing. It was really, really nice. And I think especially, probably repeating myself again, especially if you need more leg room because you're very tall or maybe a little bit fluffy, I think these seats would be fantastic for you. But for me, it's kind of a, I guess, you know, the next time I book a long flight, I'm gonna look at the price, see how much it is, see how many points I still need for the next level, and I think that will really help me consider doing it or not. But just for that little bit of reclining, the extra leg space, the tablecloth, and being called Mr. O'Brien, I feel like I don't really need it. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, and I hope I could help sort of open your eyes to what this was like. I think on the way home or back to Germany, I'm gonna try to check out the Economy Plus. I think on Delta or KLM or Air France, there's like Economy, and then there's Economy Plus, and then there's Premium Select, and then Business Class, and then First Class. So maybe on the way home, I'll try the one step back between Premium Select and Economy and see, I don't know, what that's like. And I will be able to bring the information to you here as well. I hope you're having a great Sunday or whatever day it is you choose to watch this video. Thanks for spending your time with me in front of the kind of red sofa. I hope to be back here next week also with a fun travel related video for you, but I honestly don't know right now. We have a lot of things planned. I don't know when I'm gonna get to it, but if I do, you'll see me here. Bye-bye, everybody.